The problem with a lot of the ideas that we've gone over so far is that they may seem somewhat abstract or even quite confusing. If you're someone who's never created a website and who would never read a PDF on their computer, then you might struggle to get into the correct mindset of someone who would buy these kind of products. Therefore, you might struggle to make a business like this work. So, how about we simplify things for a moment and go back to basics? Selling a service. The good news is that there are a number of ways you can make money from selling a service and turn it into a passive income. One example was to create the SAS, or software as a service, which basically means automating a service you provide. The best example of this comes from Matt Mullenweg, best known as the creator of WordPress. WordPress is a brilliant example of a service being productized, where Matt actually took his website creation business and turned it into a simple tool that would cut out the middleman. There were countless ways that WordPress could have been monetized, but one option would simply be to charge people to create the site. Similarly, you could easily charge someone for a piece of software that might fix broken video files, or you could charge them to use a piece of software that would churn out images which could be used as stock photos. Another great example of this is Copyscape. Copyscape provides a service by checking to see if there are any duplicate copies of content on the web. This is something that might previously have been handled manually, but with Copyscape, it's possible to check countless articles for only a few cents, and you can find out more at copyscape.com. But if you're not into making software, then this might seem like a business model that is out of reach. Fortunately, we have another trick up our sleeves. Service arbitrage literally means that you're buying something and then selling it on for more. Arbitrage normally refers to the process of buying and selling securities or currency and selling them off simultaneously in different markets for a profit. Doing this with services is simple. You find someone who is looking to hire a writer or a web designer for $30 an hour. You then find a service that provides writing and web design for $20 an hour. Then you simply pass the order from the client straight through to the service provider. This is another example of a near perfect business model because all you have actually had to do is to refer an email that you received from the client off to the creator. This will take you barely any time while at the same time allowing you to make a healthy profit. And like all of our favorite passive income models, this is also highly scalable. Simply find 100 clients that all need work and then 50 service providers capable of offering that work to you. Another similar option is simply to hire people or to use freelancers to create a writing agency or a web design agency. You'll probably need to do a little admin and a little advertising, but the best part is you can hire people to do all that for you as well, simply by funneling some of your profits back into marketing and managing. You can then sit back and watch as the money rolls in. Using automated email services, online forms, and other tricks can help you to cut down your admin even further, to the point where you never have to send an email until something badly goes wrong. This type of passive income model is great because it's so simple and it can work with nearly any kind of industry. The only downside of this form of business is that it really isn't self sustaining. If something goes wrong, then your operations can collapse overnight, which is not the case when you use something like a website that will build up its own momentum. Like the sound of selling a digital product, but don't like the sound of building a landing page and advertising? Then Kindle publishing might be for you. Or how about creating your own mobile app? The Kindle, of course, is a gadget from Amazon that allows people to download EPUB format books and then read them on the go. It uses an e-ink display to minimize eye strain and has a permanent free connection to Amazon. The great news is that anyone can create a book and start selling it on Kindle, And even better news is that you can do this simply by taking your PDF or Word doc and uploading it. It costs nothing and it requires absolutely no technical skill. What Kindle provides, though, is a platform for selling your products and a way to reach a massive captive audience. People will be browsing Amazon store for books all the time, and being in that store makes it incredibly simple for people to discover your content, to buy it, and to download it. This means you don't need to create your own sales page, you don't need to create your own checkout process, and you don't need to create your own marketing plan. In this case, the Kindle store is your route to market, and you can find out more at kdp.amazon.com. As with other forms of selling digital products, selling on Kindle means that you don't have any overheads and you can sell as many books as you like without having to worry about printing costs, storage, or delivery. That means it's another great set and forget form of business. But of course, you do need to invest a little time and or money up front in order to create the book in the first place. To make your book, you can either write it yourself or you can hire someone to write it for you. It does need to be good, though, not only because that's the moral thing to do, but also because readers can read excerpts of books before choosing to buy them or not. What's more is that a good book will have a lot of high star ratings, and this will help it to rank higher. Try to think of the Kindle store stroke Amazon store like a search engine. To get to the top of the search results, your book needs to choose the right niche that isn't too crowded, but that does get a lot of hits. At the same time, it needs to be designed with an outstanding cover, and the name stroke description should have keywords in them that people are going to be searching for. Think about what's hot right now, what's up and coming, and what the world needs more of. Think about how you can anticipate an upcoming trend and make a splash with a great book before anybody else does. Again, if you make a book on building muscle, you're going to have an almost impossible task rising to the top of the heap. Conversely, though, if you write a book on muscle building for students, then it might be a little easier, especially if you can combine that title and niche with a great cover image, a great sales pitch in the description, and some good reviews. Try dropping your price occasionally too to help your product climb the ladder by getting plenty of downloads. The great thing is that even if you only make a few sales a week of your book, there's nothing to stop you making hundreds of books, and over the course of a couple of years, a few sales of hundreds of books is going to mean a lot of money. And especially seeing as one or two of them is bound to take off. Or you can create and sell a mobile app. Once again, this will allow you to create a steady income stream without any overheads, and this can sustain you for a long time to come. The mistake so many people make here is to try and change the world with the next Facebook or some other life changing app. The most successful apps often aren't the ones that aim to change people's lives, though, but rather the throwaway games or the handy tools. Again, it's about knowing what people want right now and what people will search for. Try and make an app that has a social element or that requires involvement of third parties or that is highly technical, and you've given yourself an almost impossible uphill struggle. But if you try and make an app that is simple to make and has a single purpose, you'll be able to do it in a few weeks and start making a small amount of income. Use the fail fast approach. Now, that means building things quickly to see if they're profitable rather than spending months and years on a project that might never take off. Of course, there are plenty of tools that can help you with the code, or you can hire someone to do the coding for you. Now you have a ton of different options for creating business models that will generate passive income for you. The question is, where do you start? The answer is to think about what you're passionate and excited about. Which of these models and which industry would you be willing to put in the most time and work into? At the same time, ask which projects are likely to have the greatest yield while requiring the smallest amount of time. Try to avoid massive projects for now and instead focus on quickly setting up easy business models that you know will work. Now, that might mean selling a small ebook and selling it on Kindle, or it might mean buying a PLR site or a website that's already doing quite well. Over time, these revenue streams will start to quickly add up, and eventually, you'll be able to earn big money while you're sailing around the world, snoozing in bed, or working on the things that you truly care about. It's about getting inside your buyers' heads. It's about understanding the psychology of selling, and it's about knowing where you can safely cut corners. It comes down to working smart rather than working hard. That smart part is really what's important.